pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to WiseDad 2.0. And, welcome back to another question that has something to do with gaming with Kaiju Force Neo. Because after all, I'm definitely getting a lot of questions on them about that, because gaming with Kaiju Force Neo is currently my biggest series yet. And the episode count is, after all, going to hit 1,000 pretty soon. So, basically, what I'd like to say about that is that I've got a lot going for it at this point. But I'm not even close to being done with Season 5 just yet. It'll be a little while before that happens. But until then, I've got lots to talk about. So here's the next question that I got for it. And it basically says, down here, this screenshot, why is that you consider some games like Ark and Red Dead Redemption 2 as your go-to titles? Now, let me just say firsthand, Ark Survival Evolved, Red Dead Redemption 2, a few Call of Duty games on PlayStation 4, and quite a few others actually. They're some of my all-time favorite games on Sony's PlayStation 4 across all available models, including the original, the Slim, the 1 terabyte variant, and everything else, I mean. How could you possibly go wrong? PlayStation 4 is one of the best known consoles in the previous generation of game consoles. And of course, we are about to enter the new generation of gaming consoles, which will be Generation 9. And that will include the PlayStation 5, Xbox Scarlet, and who knows what will account for the third console that'll pretty much be competing against the others. Nintendo had already released their Switch, so maybe that's the one that's going to be up against them, who knows. But anyways, Ark Survival Evolved, Red Dead Redemption 2, the main reason why they're my go-to titles is because, well, for one, if you haven't looked up on some sources, then, well, I suggest that you do. I'll put a link down in the description box below, and what it'll say to you is that this particular article has suggested that Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the longest and most highly interactive games that you could ever buy on the PlayStation 4, or amongst any console in general. Although it is rated M for mature, mainly for large amounts of blood, gore, and language and violence and all that, it still is my all-time favorite Wild West themed video game in history. I mean, anything else like that could have topped it, but no. Red Dead Redemption 2 has it all. It has all the different types of terrains that properly express 19th century American culture and American history, and the way that it really, really expresses how that time in history itself, the Victorian era in general, in American history, it is just incredible. I mean, it's like the perfect Wild West game for anyone out there who's a die-hard fan of it. I mean, I've been a pretty big fan of it myself. The Wild West is certainly one big thing to go around, but I will say for sure that if there's any game that can ever top off anything in the entire world, then it is Ark Survival Evolved. It came out a year before then, but wow. What I can say about it is that it is so indescribable. I mean, it would take me a long time to talk about it, really, because it's my all-time favorite game ever. I am not even kidding. There's a lot of games out there that I've considered my favorites, including Rayman on PlayStation 1, ATV Off-Road Fury 2 on PlayStation 2, and Gran Turismo 6 on PlayStation 3. But as for PlayStation 4, my all-time favorite title ever made for the PlayStation 4 is Ark Survival Evolved. Now, I do understand that, well, it's just a late port to the PlayStation 4 because it was originally made for PC in summer 2015, and then 2 years later, it got ported to the PlayStation 4. And I bought my copy in November of 2018 for about $50. What I can say for sure about it, though, is that it is just so unpredictable, really. There's so much you could do on there. The main goal on Ark Survival Evolved, though, is to evolve. As simple as that. You start by creating your own character, which is simply called a survivor. A survivor that happens to look much like a Homo sapien from that period in time. And I'd say it's a pretty appropriate way to put it together. But of course, I do in fact have several different worlds that I've gone to on a few different map packs that I've had on my particular Ark Survival Evolved copy itself. I am currently playing on 4 different worlds, although I have finished up with one of them, which is the basic standard map that comes with the game itself, the island. It was also the first map that I've actually played on, and there's still a lot of Ark Survival Evolved footage that I have on that, as well as some footage that I've managed to get from some of the other worlds that I've gone to, including Valguero, Ragnarok, and the Center. But in addition to all that, I mean, there's just so much stuff you can do in that game. You can build weapons, you can craft your own foods, build your own furniture and your own housing, and there's just so much more that you can pretty much pull off on that game. It is that amazing. I just give that game in total the highest score I've possibly given out of all games that I've ever played. It's as simple as that. I love that game so much. Well, that's pretty much just it that I have left to talk about based on the games themselves. And hopefully that answer to your question was a pretty good one. But if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.